Hello, Education 1030 students. I hope everyone had a great week last week. Well, we made it to fall break. I know you are ready for a break, even if it's a short one at 2 days. So we have fall break Monday, October 13th, and Tuesday, October 14th. So you will have 2 days where you will have no classes. You will still have an assignment this week, but it's not a lot. You won't be doing your normal modules. So, what we're going to be doing this week is you're going to do something called a midterm check in, and then you're also going to be looking at the Exploring the Field presentation and choosing your topic. So, we're going to go over all of that. So, I also, before we get started, wanted to just kind of let you look ahead. So next week is going to be the Unit 2 exam, and you will also turn in your second Exploring the Field video reflection. So that will be following this week. So just to look ahead, just so you will understand what's going on and getting prepared. So we will talk more about that in the next video. Right now, I want to concentrate on our midterm check-in. So a midterm check-in, this assignment is really designed for you to reflect on how you're doing. So you're going to assess all your courses, how you're doing. That way you can kind of make some corrections to achieve your semester goals. Now remember, October 31st is the last day to drop a class with a W, but I do want to preface, you cannot just go in there and drop a class on your own in your MyWS account. You must meet with your advisor to discuss what's going on, and also you have to speak with financial aid because depending on your financial aid situation, you may not be allowed to drop the course, or if you do, there could be penalties. You don't know. So that's why we always say before you drop, you need to talk to financial aid as well as your advisor. But if you feel like you can go on and make some adjustments, that's great. That's what this form is really going to allow you to do to really assess how you're doing and what kind of changes need to be made so you can pass this fall semester. There's also going to be a chance for some bonus points this week with a library quiz. Now, we actually went to the library a couple weeks, I think a couple weeks ago now, and we took a tour. We did this little activity where you had to find different things. Well, now you're going to do what we call a virtual library tour, and I will talk about that. And there's a bonus quiz where you can get extra bonus points for taking it. So, yes, I do want you to relax. You do have those 2 days off of classes, but you still have things to do. It's a chance for you to reflect. So, really, our module objective for this assignment is going to be to think about the ways that you can improve, or maybe you're doing it really well, you want to maintain that. Also, looking at identifying what your current standards are in terms of grades. And then lastly, you're going to be using those campus resources we did back in Module 1 to kind of help you with this assignment as well. So again, here are your assessments. The midterm check-in is worth 20 points. You will also be submitting your Exploring the Field topic form, which is 10 points, and then you can earn an additional 5 bonus points with the virtual library tour with that bonus quiz. Okay, so let's go ahead and first open up the midterm check-in. So if you look here, midterm check-in, like I mentioned, is basically reflecting to make sure the rest of the semester goes smoothly. So what you're going to do, there are several sections in here where you have to do different things. The first section is looking at your overall standing in the class. What that means is describe how your final grade will be calculated. Well, what does that mean is you just need to estimate your overall grade. And how we do that is sometimes when you go into your courses, it'll automatically give you your grade. Now, I can't show you my grade book because you will see everybody's grades. But if you go into each of your courses, underneath course information tab, there is a selection that says grades. You can go in there and kind of see where you are. Sometimes on the syllabus it will say how many points you could get. So you would just take how many points you have and divide them by how many possible points you've had so far. And that will give you your grade average. Now, if you are unsure about your grade in the class, that would be a good time for you to talk to your instructor. Now, I've had students ask me, what do I put? Do I put letter grades? Do I put points? I'm not really too particular about that. If you want to put letter grades, you can. If you want to put points average, you can. The main thing to remember is that when you're doing this, you just know how you're doing in all your classes. Now, there are 5 lines here. If you're not taking 5 courses, you would only put average grades for whatever courses you're taking. If you need extra, you can add extra lines down there on your own. Now, the next section, after you figure out what your grades are, you're going to see if you're doing really well or if you need some help. So, it's important for you to know how to maintain your grades. So, what you're going to do is if your grades are really good and you're passing and you're pretty happy, you would take and write the 3 steps, the 3 things that you're doing to maintain and to keep making great grades or good grades. But if you are not doing well, I want you, say you have at least a C or below, then you would want to start improving and doing some things in those courses. So, what would steps would you take to be improving upon those grades? And remember, we've talked about a lot of things within these first 5 modules, what kind of learner you are. We talked about the resources on campus. We talked about our academic plan, time management. We've talked about a lot of things, note taking. How do you annotate notes for lectures and studying? So there's a lot of things that you could think of that would maybe you would use as part of your steps to making sure you can improve. Or if you're doing really good, tell me what you're doing to maintain that. What are the steps you're using that makes you successful in those courses? Now, I know that some of us have not met with our advisor. We're going to make appointments because we talked about that when we did our module 2 academic plan. But what I do want you to know is the information of how to contact your advisor. So you're going to put your advisor's name, email, office, phone number if they have it, which they should, and then if you've met with them to be cleared to register, which you should be putting no because you can't register until November 3rd, but you can meet with them before November 3rd. So you can start contacting them and reaching out. So if you haven't reached out to them to schedule an appointment, are you going to? So that would be how you would fill this section out. Now, I just told you the answer to this section, November 3rd, on Monday, November 3rd, is when you will register or registration will open. Um, the next section goes back to module 3 when we were speaking about time management. How do you manage your time? Are there some behaviors you need to change? Do you use a calendar or an app in your phone or a planner? So these are the things I really want you to answer and think about. Along with that, the next section is really going to be talking about how you maintain your motivation in college. Now, it's important for you to stay positive. I know when we deal with challenges or maybe the course is difficult, it's really a challenge for you to keep your motivation, right? So we have to go back to what our purpose is. Like, why are you here? And think about those goals that you're setting for yourself. So you're going to keep that in mind as you answer this section here. Now, whenever it gives you sections like always, never, sometimes, you could either highlight with the highlighter or circle and annotate it, but just put something here. That way I know what you're answering. Okay. The next section is requirements. So each course requires different things. Sometimes you might have exams, you might have, well, most of them have exams or quizzes or papers or projects. I want you to think about some important course requirements that you have coming up. It could be for any course that you have, but I want you to list 4. Now you can list more than 4, but we're looking for at least 4. And what you're going to do is you can go into your course or your course syllabus and you're going to look at 4 things that's coming up that's really, really important. And you are going to put what it is and the due date. Okay. And the reason I'm having you do this is because if you said, oh, I keep up with my time, and I'm really staying motivated. I set goals, I use a planner, all that stuff, right, in these two sections. But then if you come down here and you don't know what's due, you didn't put any requirements, that makes me think that maybe we're not really managing our time and we're not prioritizing our and setting goals. So that's what this section's for. And then lastly, we're going to close out thinking about your anxiety or stress levels. Now, sometimes when we get to this point in the semester, we're almost at the halfway point, it seems to become overwhelming for you. There's a lot to juggle and balance, and you're never going to balance it all, right? You just do your best to try to find value in everything that you're doing and remember your purpose. So sometimes we got to just check in. I call it checking in with yourself. So check in with yourself, see how you're doing. Am I stressed? Do I have anxiety? Um, and how you're feeling about college right now. So that will be like your mental health state right there, which is important for you to always check in with yourself. So that's how you will fill out the midterm check-in. Now, if you look here, the midterm check-in is going to be due Thursday, October 16th. Now, I also mentioned that you would have a chance to earn some bonus points. So thinking back when we did the library tour a couple weeks ago, I want you to remember all the things that she told you when you went on your scavenger hunt. I want you to think about that as you're going through. So, to get to the library tour and module quiz, you would click on the first link and you'll have to scroll down a little bit underneath the assignment. You're going to see it in the bottom. It'll say virtual library tour and quiz bonus. So, you're going to click on the first one. This is going to pop up. You will have to take and click on the link to get to the virtual library tour, and this is what it's going to look like. If you remember, that's the lady that was helping us and teaching you that day. Her name is Crystal Johnson. She's also embedded into our course. So, how you navigate through this module is similar to eLearn in the fact that you will use the top tabs to kind of navigate throughout this module. And so what you're going to do is go through each tab, and then after you go through all of the tabs and you look at everything and you scroll all the way down on each of the sections and pages, okay, you will be able to click on Library Module Quiz and you will take it. And remember, you take it by the 16th, it will close. Now remember, this is not like a normal quiz. This is for bonus points, 5 bonus points, so you can't take it multiple times. So whatever you take, you get one attempt, and that will be your extra bonus points added to your overall grade average. So there's your bonus points. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about is exploring the field presentation topic. Now, if you remember, I said that you will be part of your exploring the field project is going to be not only the videos, but you're going to be doing a presentation. So, what I want us to do is we're going to fill out the topic form. So, meaning you're going to have to submit what career you want to present to us. Okay, so to get to that, you could use the links here or you could go to the table of contents and click on exploring the field, which is what I did. Now you will have to scroll down. I like to use the tabs under each module because it's just easier to get there. It's faster. So I will just click on exploring the field presentation because remember, you're telling me what you're presenting on. Okay. So if you look here, I want you to get in here and actually look at what you're going to be doing. Okay, and I will talk about it some more, but I'm not going to go in great detail because it's here for you to read and I want you to get in here anyways. But you will be doing a presentation next month. It will be on your career choice, and you'll see here you will pick the topic. So if you click on this, oh, sorry, let's go back. When you click on exploring the field presentation topic form, it's going to show you this. This is really easy peasy lemon squeezy is what I call it. It's not going to be difficult at all. What you're going to do is you're going to download the form like you do with any of our assignments. And what you're going to see here is kind of like an overview of your points. The whole presentation is worth 100 points. This form you're going to submit is worth 10. And I call it a form because you're just filling out a few things. That's it. So based on your Focus to Career Readiness assessment you did, what results it gave you, exploring the field videos, right? And anything that you've explored so far. Okay, so we're thinking about all those things. And what you're going to do is you're going to figure out what career interests you the most out of everything you've done so far. And you're going to write what career interests you most. Now, let's say that you want to be in the health field, right? Health fields is kind of broad. It's not really narrowing it down. So you could put health field as your topic. Uh, a, a career that interests me most is career in health or in nursing. But when you get down to career topic, we really need to be more detailed, right? So here's how I laid it out for you to make the most sense. Some people are still undecided. We're still doing the Focus 2 career assessments. We're still watching the videos, so we're not sure. If you're not sure and you're one of those people, you need, or if you're a dual enrollment student, you need to put I am unsure of the career and I need help. So then you would circle or highlight this section. If you know what career interests you, you can write it down. Here's where people get confused. You've got career topic and then you got career. Now, career means you already know what you want to do. So, say you want to go be a chef, okay? So, you would be chef, and that would be a career topic, and the career would be culinary arts, right? Or say that you know you want to be in business management. You don't exactly know what, but you want to be in a career that's business management. So you have to fill something out to tell me what you want to do or to let me know you're unsure. So this will, remember, this is what you're going to present to us. Um, and you will be recording yourself um, doing your presentation with your PowerPoint. So that's what you'll be filling out. Now, if you look here underneath our table of contents under midterm, I did change the date from what it originally was. So for those of us that have been in here, you're going to notice the date changed. Why did I do that? Well, because I'd like you to turn your outline and your topic in at the same time. And because that gives us time to think about it, you can certainly submit in earlier if you want. You'll look here that it's due October 23rd. Okay, so you now remember your midterm check-ins due before that, as is the library bonus quiz. But the topic and the outline are both due October 23rd. I can't go past that date. I've already pushed it back a week because I wanted to give us time to go ahead and finish those Focus 2 career assessments to make sure. And nothing could have changed for you. Maybe you feel like this semester what you wanted was what you are continuing to do, right? Even after exploring, which is great. But some of us, this exploring the field might have changed our mind about certain careers. So that's what the topic is going to be for you to tell me what you want to present on, and then you will do your outlines. So if you remember, last week we were learning about outlines, right? And we started to do our outline for our uh, presentation. So now what I wanted to look at is going back to the presentation. So I'm going to click on exploring the field. And I want you to see here that you, aside from doing your topic and formal outline, which we talked about last week and you saw, you're going to present and record yourself. It will be a presentation done 3 to 5 minutes in length. So that means that when you're presenting about your topic, these are things that most people, right, would talk about for their career choice. You know, your salary. Will you have to move or relocate? Or is there a job market here where you live? Can you be promoted in that field? What kind of education would you need to be employed? Like the degree standings. What are your hours? What will be a typical work day or work week for you? What are some good things? What might be hard? What kind of skill sets do you need? Those sorts of things. Education training. Where would you want to go to school? What school has a great program that you're interested in pursuing, right? So these are the things that you're going to do. The other section's talking about your actual presentation itself, like as a presenter, maintaining good eye contact, to speak in a great volume where people can hear you, be excited to share your information about your career, right? There's also an opportunity to earn bonus points with your presentation, believe it or not. You can earn up to 10 bonus points by interviewing someone that is in the same career field that you are interested in. So when you interview them, you would type these questions out, you would write their answers, and you would submit it to me. And I would need their name, their phone number, because I got to check to make sure this isn't some made up person. So you could get 10 points. So you would have to have their contact information on this. So you could just put this in a Word document, put their answers, their name, contact information, those sorts of things. And you will submit it underneath your presentation, right? The same Dropbox as your presentation. So that's how that would go there. But go ahead and get in here and look at it, complete your midterm check-in assignment. It shouldn't take you that long to do. It'll take a little bit. If you want extra points, I highly encourage you to do the virtual library tour and bonus quiz. It's a great chance for you to get those extra points that you may need. I always say that 5 to 10 points can be the difference between passing and failing, so keep this in mind as well. But the next time we have a video, it will be about the exploring the field video reflection, talking about your second one and your exam review, as well as checking in with you about your outline um, to see how you've done on it because it's also going to be due during that time. All right. I hope everyone has a great fall break and get some relaxation. And until next time, take care.